This episode was recorded while Sky was a part of the Soundtrack of Our Lives podcast. She has since started her own podcast, which can be found on Instagram at Beats and Brews Pod. We wish her the best of luck in this new venture. Hello, everyone. We're Sky and Mackayla, and today we welcome Carnig, the guitarist and producer from Charming Liars, to the Soundtrack of Our Lives. We're very excited to have you here, and congrats on your latest single, Black Cage.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so you want to start by telling us a little bit more about how you guys started and how everything began?
I've been playing music for many years now, and me and the other guy in the band, who's not, there's three of us. Me and the bass player, we actually were playing in bands in England for a really long time, and we started when we were about 15, just kind of missing school where we could, and going to play gigs without our families knowing and all that, and then we started taking it a bit more seriously, and then eventually that led us to coming to the US and meeting our singer Killian, who's from California, and so we joined up around 2016 with him, and it's been a great journey since then. So it's kind of music led us to come over the pond and come to the US.
That's awesome. So what have you found is the biggest difference in the music scene between the UK and California?
Well, I think that in England, music, I feel like trends are set from there. I think it depends on the genre. Obviously, like country and R&B and those kind of things that have like a long history here and inherently coming from here. I think that's different. That's obviously very organic and local. But I think in terms of commercial music, like pop music and rock music and alternative music and things like that, I think England sort of sets. I thought it's always set the trend, and a lot of artists that are doing that kind of like breaking genre thing, that they come from the UK, but I think that the US is like the place where the artists become the biggest version of themselves and like the most successful. So I think you need both to sort of become very successful. I think England breeds a lot of creativity and left field stuff, and it's and open to accepting that kind of thing. But here you have that just huge size, the size of this country, and if you can conquer it, then you're basically a superstar. So I think America creates the superstars. England sort of creates the foundation of those superstars. I'm a bit biased, obviously. So.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of big stars that have, come from England, and they're the biggest stars that we know.
Well, arguably the biggest rock and roll bands in the history of music are the Rolling Stones and the Beatles, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's a long time ago as well. That's the thing. Like nowadays, there aren't really there are big rock and roll bands, but the biggest artists in the world are like, according to streaming numbers, are like, Hispanic artists or Drake or whatever, so it's like,
yeah, but I feel like let's say Adele, every time she comes and she releases a new album, she literally gets number one.
Adele, I mean, I think the biggest artists in the world are in the pop world.
Yes.
Adele, Ed Sheeran,
definitely.
Taylor Swift, Harry Styles. They're all pop stars. But back in the day, the pop stars were like the rock stars, But I think that era is gone. I don't think we'll ever go back there. I think it takes a lot of work to make rock bands the size of pop stars.
Yeah.
Especially when you have someone like Harry Styles, you're dealing with one person. You're dealing with someone and he's got a huge team around him, and everyone's doing everything they can to make this guy the biggest artist in the world. When you have a band of four, at any one time, one of them may decide, you know what, I'm out. Then they decide they want to change what kind of music they're making. Then they want to do this. There's a lot of volatility and there's a lot of moving parts. And I think less moving parts creates a better chance to be wildly successful. And having said that, Harry Styles is obviously a phenomenal artist. Ed Sheeran is obviously is like huge. Yeah. These are all huge. Like there's so much respect to like that you have to give these artists for all the work they've done to get there. So it's impossible. It's like 1 in a trillion chance of becoming as big as these artists. But I think the rock and roll of the 60s and the 70s, a lot of those artists arguably were from England. So that I think that says something,
Yeah. So I noticed that there's a lot of reference to like bones because you have like tourniquet, thought, flesh, and bones, bare bones. Is there any reasoning for this?
That's a good question, actually. I never thought about that.
You can make something
Um,
up. We'd never know.
no, I'm not. I don't know if I have. I kind of not creative enough to make it up right now. But I think the bone is basically like it's the beginning of our formation, and I think that's where a lot of the reference comes from. Thought, flesh, and bone is basically the entirety of our bodies, basically, and that's so we were very much drawn to that aspect of it. Bare bones was actually the acoustic version of some of the songs on the Thought, Flesh, and Bone album. So we thought it was quite clever to just call it Bare Bones because we strip down the songs and they become the bare versions of the bigger songs. And so Thought, Flesh, and Bone. So we thought Bare Bones was a good play on Thought, Flesh, and Bone. And then Tourniquet obviously it's that, it's a mechanism that like in the artwork shows you tie it around you and it's like basically a stopping of the bleeding sort of thing. So yeah, I think Killian, who's our vocalist and lyricist, I think he likes going down to the sort of getting really detailed in how we kind of arrived to where we are, and a lot of that I think metaphorically, I think refers to bones. So that's a lot of the reason of us using that word.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Never heard that before. And so, what about your latest single, Black Cage? Can you tell us about like the meaning behind it?
It's basically, I think the general concept of the song is being sort of forced into a place, being held against your will. I think the origin of the song is more rooted in sort of like how the US became the US, how it was founded. Obviously there was people here before, and then what happens in history is there are invasions and places get conquered, places get taken over. So I think it's basically like touching on how countries evolve and how empires take over and the things that they do in order to achieve success. So everyone coming over to the US and invading here and making this the US. But what was left before, what was existing before, is also very important. So that's kind of where the song started. But as we were finishing the song, I think it just became more of a metaphorical reference that was obviously rooted in what I just said, but more sort of, the turning of a blind eye to things that have basically shaped, we live in the US, or I used to live in England. We're very lucky to live in these places. But these places were once, inhabited by others. So that's basically where the kind of the meaning of Black Cage comes from. Yeah.
So when you sit down to write a song like Black Cage, do you come up with the idea and the meaning behind it first, or you just kind of start and see what happens?
It can be both. It depends. It depends on the song. Sometimes, I mean, a lot of our songs will start with the inspiration is a sound or a guitar part or an electronic sound or a synthesizer, and that can basically inspire us into a plot. There may be a sound that this, like the beginning of this song that we released in today, Black Cage. The beginning is there's a lot of tension and it's kind of like a really cool soundtracky thing. And with that, I was able to basically map out a lot of the music, the whole song. And then when Killian heard it, he immediately wanted to go into the vocal booth and just spitball ideas. And the Black Cage concept had not been formed at that point. It was more an idea of, this is giving me this kind of fear thought. The sound makes me, it gives me the chills, that kind of thing. So I think that then inspired what the lyrics would become. But then we've had other songs where Killian may have a lyric already. He may have a really cool lyric, and we may grow a song just from the lyric. In other songs, we may have melodies only, and we may map out a song with all the melodies, and it's literally just bogus lyrics. So we have a complete song where every lyric doesn't make any sense, and then we'll work backwards from there, and then we'll actually formulate a song based around the melodies that we have. And at the same time, we can write songs on the piano or acoustic guitar as well, and they may be more of an organic song, more of a singer-songwriter type thing, and then we'll then build that up to be a big rock song. So there's no like method to how a song comes about. It depends on all those things.
Okay. What do you consider to be the flaws of the modern age?
like in general, or in music, or in what?
Well, like music related.
Oh,
I mean, if you want to talk in general,
no.
you
We don't have long enough. I think technology is a really good and a really bad thing. And I think that is like the root of all the issues. I think it's the root of all issues in general, like outside of music. But I think it's really affected the way music has been created, the way music has been released, the way musicians get paid. So I think the biggest flaw is technology. I'm a bit of an old soul. I mean, we're on a Zoom, we're doing a Zoom interview. So obviously, like, everyone has to embrace technology. And I use a lot of technology when it comes to making music, but I'm also very archaic in the process. We work with a lot of producers and a lot of artists where it's like the norm has become, let's record this chorus part, 20 times.
Yeah.
And then let's compile the best of all the takes. That's quite a normal thing in the music business. You'll record the chorus 10 times, pick the best parts. I'm like really not a fan of doing that anymore. I think you warm up to something and you make sure that you're ready to sing. For example, you're warmed up, you're sounding great. You go in the booth, or you're right here next to the speakers, however you want to do it, and you record the chorus as best as you can a couple times, and you see what the vibe is. You see what the energy is saying, and you come up with the best thing that you can. And I'm also in this train of thought that if you can't nail it in 4 or 5 times, then we need to adjust it and see, like, how do we make this better? Why is there a struggle? Why can't you hit those notes? Are the notes too high? And all that sort of thing. So technology now means that you can make your song flawless, but I don't think songs were ever meant to be flawless. And I deal with this all the time with Killian. Actually, it's like, back in the day, you wrote the songs, you did your demos, you went to the studio, recorded the album, mixed the album, mastered the album, album's done. Pick the singles, whatever. You couldn't go back after 6 months and be like, oh, that lyric is not cool. I really don't like that lyric. But nowadays, we're recording song, like this week, we're recording music that I think we'll release in October, November. Like the song will live will just stay, in the studio until it gets mixed. But at any point, I can say, you know what, that vocal sucks. You know what, this guitar part is not cool. I have to change it. And I think everyone's guilty of it, some more than others. But I think that the fact that we can call upon at any moment, 4 months after we recorded it, I think that's like, obviously it could be a good thing if something's really crap and you want to make it better. But a lot of the time you're replacing something organic and something which doesn't have a problem, and you're replacing it with something else. And I think you lose you lose that original sort of foundation, original idea. And a lot of the greatest songs in history were all recorded and they were never changed. They couldn't go back. They were recorded on tape. They couldn't go back and change a word, So I think technology has stunted a lot of the creative process, and it's allowed for a lot of the music to be released that is flawless, and that to me is a problem, and that to me is a big problem. And the same with the distribution of music. It's like, what is TikTok? I mean, it's like a song can catch fire on TikTok for 2 weeks and then it's gone. Like what does that mean? It's nothing. It's like it's a synthetic way of to me it's a synthetic way of finding music, because you're only listening to 10 seconds of a song.
Yeah.
We don't like, and maybe there's a whole bunch of people who think, what, songs should be 40 seconds long. Why are songs 3 minutes long? Why are songs 5 minutes long? Like who's making the rules? And it's like, you know what? Some of the rules were made and some of the rules are great, And I think people writing a song that like could take off on TikTok, it's such a bullshitty idea.
Yeah. Yep.
And people now ask like, oh, how's your TikTok? It's like, dude, I don't give a shit how about, like, I don't care. It's irrelevant to me. And people, TikTok could be great. Like, I know people that use it for like cooking related things. They use it for medical. Like, there's a lot you can learn from TikTok, but I don't think music is one of those. And that's see. And so so the answer to the question is technology.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with the TikTok part. It's kind of annoying because sometimes you see people promoting their music and they put 30 seconds, 40 seconds, whatever it's allowed, and then when they actually release the song, that was it. The 40 seconds was the like exciting part of the song.
The rest of it's crap.
And then you listen to the rest and it's like, oh, well,
it's snippets. I think
yeah.
okay, that's cool. It's a snippet. It's cool. But like, do you guys both have TikTok?
Yeah, I don't use it that often, but I have it.
Yeah,
I
like we
just
have one for
watch
the band.
things.
Like our band has one. So I'll go in there once in a while to see what's going on. I hate it. But there's a song now. I don't know if you've heard it. It's like it starts off with like a it starts off with like a
Oh, that one. Yeah, yeah.
that one. It's like what the hell is that?
I don't
So I
know.
looked into it. I probably contributed to increase in streams, you know. But I looked into it, and the song came out in 2016.
Oh wow!
And actually, the rest of the song is kind of cool. But that's not why the song is becoming famous now. It's becoming famous because of because of like some weird like vocal thing she does in the beginning. It's like and when it catches, then suddenly everyone makes all their videos and they put the same song on all the videos. And it's like someone's walking down the street and has the same song. Someone's in the sea and it has the same song. Someone's on top of a building. Someone's making a cooking video, how to cook the best piece of meat, and they've got the same song. The same song was not supposed to be put over all of those clips. You know? It's again, it stunts creativity. These songs get trending, and then everyone thinks that in order to keep trending, their video is going to get a lot of views, so they put the trending song in the video in the hopes that their video gets more views. It's like anti-creativity.
Yeah.
It's literally putting a song on a piece of video just to get views.
Yeah. I've seen that a lot, and I've seen something that annoys me a lot that is like they put like two videos side to side, and then there's one like a game or something, and then there's the actual like content.
Yeah.
And it's just so people get like distracted watching the game or watch, and I'm like, what is that?
It's the stupidest thing. Like I remember, like I at least think that like Instagram is like pictures.
Yeah.
But even an Instagram now is like getting older, and it's like, what's the new thing? Oh, it's TikTok. Okay, what's after TikTok? You know?
Yeah.
Like, what is like a video, like two videos next to each other? Like, how is that of interest to the world? You know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's
there you go. That's like a long conversation to answer your question.
Yeah, no, and that's fine because I feel like that's something that should be talked about.
Yeah.
Especially from the music point, you know, because also these musicians get the hopes that, oh, my song is trending, I'm gonna get, you know, all this money out of this, and I'm gonna get all these fans and all these things. And then when they start selling tickets for tours and stuff, they're not selling anything because people were just hooked on that piece of song on TikTok, but they didn't really care about the rest of the music they're making.
It affects. We do that all the time. I'm always looking at bands that I like. Oh, this band's got 200,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. This band's got, or this singer's got 1 million followers on TikTok. But it doesn't mean anything for people coming to a concert.
No.
You know, and that's like that's longevity. If you want to be a musician for 10, 20 years, at the minimum now you need to sell. The goal is to sell tickets, sell merchandise, and all of that is the key thing between all that is face to face. It's physical movement to go to a venue to watch an artist. And so all these people with all these sound clips that become that trend and take off on TikTok, it's like it doesn't convert to tickets at all.
No.
And that's like, and so when people ask me like, oh, like how's like, because even now when you meet people in the music business, they want to know like, how big is your band? How many tickets can your band sell? But the first question is not how many tickets do you sell ever now. It's like how many followers do you have on Instagram and TikTok? It's like, okay, well, this guy's got 10 times more followers than me, but I'm selling more tickets in LA.
Yeah.
Like, who gives? Who cares? You know? But this is where we're going. It's like before it was Facebook, then Instagram, now it's TikTok is the tool. And there's a lot of music industry people who are so lazy and they just think that going on TikTok and finding what's trending, like that's the way like they're finding artists, you know? So yeah. Sucks.
It does.
Yeah.
I feel like now we also get presented a lot of people to come to the podcast, and what they include is like the artist name, and it says like over this amount of followers on, you know, social media and everything. And I have realized that doesn't mean anything. If you're verified,
well, they're probably very happy about it.
Yeah.
because
Like great for you, but it really doesn't matter.
because social media justification and verification is like that's where we're going, right?
Yeah. It's just like, oh, you should have them because they're over this amount.
I know.
And they're like, okay, when they post about it, we get like 2 more listeners that they brought us. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, cool.
And I'll tell you what, I'm probably the interview with like the least amount of social media presence. But I do have a blue check mark for my Instagram account, which is really cool.
Nice. You're verified.
I'm joking. I do have one. I don't think it's that cool anymore, but people
You
like,
can-
oh, no one takes
You
me
can buy
seriously.
it now.
No, but even on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no. What do you mean you can buy it? How do you buy it?
Yeah. It's $15 a month.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my
You
God.
apply for like Meta Verify, like through Facebook and stuff.
But I've been verified for like 8
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, if you've been verified, you can keep that. But if you're not
They should
verified,
give us the old school verification ticks. They should give us like something unique so that people know, oh, this is like really a verified person. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Now
but-
there's
Not
going to
someone
be
who's saying-
levels of verification.
Yeah, there should be levels of verification.
yeah. Well, now because you click, it doesn't matter who you click on. When you click on like the verification part, it just says verification badge. Now it means that the person was verified through Meta verification or something like that. It doesn't
Oh.
mean that they're someone famous or
Yeah. Oh well, that's my only claim to fame is that bloody thing. Because people would be like, oh, okay, cool. And then they'd see that I had a tech. They're like, oh, you have a blue check mark on your Instagram. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's cool, right?
Yeah.
But I don't even.
I mean,
it's not cool. It's not cool.
It was really cool, but I don't know how cool it is to pay $15 a month now.
I know, because that's Twitter started that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elon Musk ruined it.
Yep, he did.
Damn
He
it, Elon,
did.
damn it.
And the funny thing is, like, even famous people have to pay for it now.
Yeah, because
It
I
doesn't
like
make
gigs.
sense.
I'm a big fan of concerts.
Me too. That's my favorite part of music is the concerts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that like Taylor Swift is charging like $10,000 for a ticket, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's Taylor Swift though. Now, I'm not defending her though.
Don't defend her. Don't defend her.
But I think it's like Ticketmaster, and it's like people buying the tickets and then reselling them, like resellers.
Yeah, but
Because I know.
so Ticketmaster takes a cut of the
Mhm.
resold ticket. So if they sell a ticket for $500, they
Yeah.
then have their verified reseller page.
Yeah.
So they sell $500. Let's say they take 50% of that. Then the $500 ticket gets sold for $5,000. Ticketmaster then takes a cut of that too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's double
Mhm.
dipping,
Yeah.
which is like ridiculous. It's like it's so unfair. And they're trying to bring in England, they're trying to bring laws into place that will not allow this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But also Live Nation and Ticketmaster are the same company. So
Yeah.
Live
Yeah.
Nation's paying Taylor Swift let's just for a nice number say $5 million a show, but I don't know how
Mhm.
much. But let's say they're paying her $5 million. They're paying her because they know that how much money they can make from the tickets.
Yeah.
But that's based on the fact that the tickets get resold. If the tickets weren't getting resold, I think they'd probably have to pay her a bit less.
Yeah.
So they're all
She
in
can
it
afford
together.
it.
Well, but that's the thing. Like Taylor Swift is a huge artist. Like,
Yeah.
she is the top of the pyramid. And if you're gonna get paid a shit ton of money, it's gonna be Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, those guys. They're gonna get paid a lot of money. But Taylor Swift pretending like she's like equal to the fans is complete bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
If she
What do you
was,
mean?
like, what annoys me about her is she tries to play. She always makes it seem like she wants to get all her big fans, all her Swifties or whatever, on her side, but she's not on their side.
Okay.
If she's on their side, let each kid pay $100. Let them pay $100 for a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you come to the show. You want to spend $300 on her merch? Fine, spend $300 on her merch. By the way, she makes so much money on the merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Each shirt costs $3 to make, and she sells it for $40.
Yeah. It's
You don't
ridiculous.
have to be a mathematician to figure out that. It's like, so Bruno Mars went through the same thing. All of these big artists, they go through the same thing. They have the conundrum where they want to make a lot of money, but they're screwing their fans by doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe if I got to a stage where I was playing a stadium, I'd do the same. I don't know. But it's like, I'm not going to go out and say, guys, like, I feel so sorry for you. Like, I'm trying to figure it out with Ticketmaster. They're paying me $10 million a show.
Yeah, that's
We're
not gonna
all in it.
change.
We're all in it together. They're all working together. So no matter what she says, like I feel sorry for this, like these are my fans, they're all making a shit ton of money together. So I don't like that two-faced crap.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
then again, Live Nation's like, what can you do? Live Nation is the biggest company, like one of the biggest companies in music.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
they don't do the tour with Taylor Swift, she's gonna do it with someone else,
Yeah.
Yeah.
AEG or whoever. So they're all tangled together. It's a bit of a conundrum. But one thing for sure is like kids or parents who want to buy tickets for their kids, a lot of them can't even afford to take their kids
Yeah.
to
It's
their
not
artists.
fair.
Yeah, you buy a ticket to our show, a ticket costs $20, and then sometimes there are fees that are like $10 on top. It's like
Yeah.
a third of the ticket price up.
Yeah.
And people that come to see us, they're variety of ages, but they're saving up to go see Foo Fighters. They're saving up to spend $150 on a Foo Fighters ticket. They can't,
Yeah.
and they can't afford a $20 ticket to come see us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's crazy. So
It
Yeah.
is. It is crazy.
yeah,
And how much the prices have changed in the past 5 to 10 years.
yeah.
But it
But,
also
you know,
makes sense because they aren't selling CDs or anything like that anymore, and it's all streaming. So
yeah, and
the
streaming
But
is
they
great.
revenue,
are.
Look,
But they
no,
are selling.
but the thing is, artists need new ways to make money. So
yeah,
back in the day, if you sold 10 million albums, you know, you made $100 million, and it was a simple deal. You're gonna get X amount of dollars from that. Now, if you sell 10 million albums, it's like the equivalent of like a billion streams, or I don't
mm-hmm.
know, 10 billion streams, and that doesn't even give you
Yeah.
the close to the same amount of money. That's technology
Yeah.
again. It's like the way music is being distributed now. It's similar to TV shows and movies with like Netflix and all this stuff. It's like media. Our screens have become so like joined to us that we expect content all the time. And
Mhm.
because of that expectation, companies have to provide that content. But you know, these companies spend billions of dollars making movies and TV shows.
Yeah,
So someone is going to like will lose out, you know, like there's no equilibrium. So
no,
the same in music. Spotify does not make gazillion-dollar profit a year. Spotify some years makes a loss, which means that they're spending more money than them. Like they are losing a lot of money. But you're like, what? How?
mm-hmm.
It's like it's a fact that they lose money, but then the artists aren't getting paid. So it's like, what's going on? There's a lack
Yeah.
there's a disconnect, you know. And I hope that in the next 10 years they'll solve that. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I think we may have gotten to a point where media now is just free. People
just
expect it. Like
crazy.
all of us all of us expect to hear the new Muse album or the new Taylor Swift album. Like if we woke up one day and it was like, oh no, Taylor Swift. I mean, she did it right. She didn't want her music to go on Spotify back like several years ago, and it's like that's
Mhm.
like everyone's like, oh what? Like where am I going to hear it? We
Yeah.
end up like we don't know what to do with ourselves. Like how are we not gonna hear this new album? So it's like it's affected how artists get paid, and it kills a lot of artists, and a lot of people just end up not being artists for it, you know. So
That's true. I mean, I feel like it definitely affects more like smaller artists because you guys don't get as many plays on
yeah,
Spotify as someone like Taylor Swift.
yeah,
On top of that, she releases vinyls, CDs, and even though we cannot play them anywhere or we would have to,
it's just like
have
memorabilia.
something
Yeah, it's
else.
art. Yeah,
Yeah, we would still go and buy those things, and
yeah,
then we still on top of that go and buy merch that is $80 for a
Mm-hmm.
sweater
yeah,
and $50 for a shirt,
yeah,
and they're still making a shit ton of money even if they're not getting
yeah. No, the
enough.
big artists are doing well. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the big artists are doing really well, and it's all the middle to lower artists
Yeah,
that you know,
they're
the ones
struggling
that
with it.
the ticket prices are lower, they're playing to less people, they have
Yeah.
streaming numbers, they're selling less merch. It's those artists that are really finding it hard to break through,
Yeah.
you know, being able
Yeah.
to live and being able to afford to live somewhere, you know. So yeah, what you said is right. And I don't know, I don't know, who knows what the solution is for that, you know.
Yeah. It's a difficult one.
It's difficult, yeah.
So earlier on in our talk of technology, you mentioned new music. What can you share about your new music?
We're always writing and recording, and we usually we're like 4 or 5 months out from what we release. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it can be a year, sometimes it can be 2 months, but in general it's like 5, 6 months ish. And yeah, we've got a lot of new music that we're going to release in the next 3 or 4 months, and it's we're experimenting with different things and trying different sounds and different guitar techniques and things like that, and just like trying to do something we haven't done before. So we're excited to release that, and also we're going to be playing a lot of shows in the US in September, October, November. So we're going to announce some dates in the next couple of weeks as well. So we want to have a lot of new music out by that time so that we can play it live. And we think they're going to be received well live. They're going to translate well. You know, sometimes songs, you release them and you start rehearsing them and you play a couple shows and you realize, you know what, it just doesn't feel as good as it can. You know, maybe we should have done this with the song, or we should have done this. And then some songs just work really great live. So we think that the next round of music that we release is going to work great.
Okay. So with the music that you are working on right now to release, what is usually the production process for it?
Yeah, like I said before, it's obviously as a producer, I'm always playing around with sounds and creating things. And I have like 30, 40 songs in my studio computer which are like just like almost like music, like instrumentals without vocals.
Yeah.
Okay. And just like, so there's always so much stuff happening. But like I said, I could have a song that I recorded 3 years ago and we'll revisit it tomorrow and it might inspire something new, you know? At the same time, as an exercise, we always try and write something fresh every week or so, just like together, me and Killian just next to each other writing a song like a really like an old school way of writing music. So we'll try and do that periodically just as an exercise, but a lot of the time we end up with something really cool and we take that and we filter it into something that sounds like our band. So that's the thing that we spend a lot of time on, is transposing our basically commercial. We like to write commercial pop songs, but we want to filter them into what the band that we are. Yeah. So at the core of it, it'll sound like, if we did it with an acoustic guitar, it would sound like an acoustic pop song, you know? Okay. And so it's a great technique and exercise to then make that into a big rock song. So that a lot of that happens so we'll have something small and then we'll grow it as well. Okay.
Do you know usually how long it takes for you guys to finish a song from when you started to like when you get the master?
You know, well, all I can control is like, well, that's a good question, actually. Sometimes songs take like a year, but maybe we'll just get lazy on it. And then sometimes, like, we have a song now that we're almost finished with, but we actually started it like 3 weeks ago, a month ago. And it was just really quick. It was just like quick, and it's like the structure was simple, and it was the melody just came very quickly, and the song idea came very quickly. And we have another song that the next song that we release actually was much more laborious, if that's a word. Is it laborious?
Something like that.
A lot of labor. And it's like we're back and forth on a lot of things in the verse, and like I'm very clinical, and like when I think something's done, I'm like, okay, I'm really happy with this. But Killian is like, I always tell him, is like an overthinker. One day when you interview him, he can tell you he's an overthinker. So, and that's the thing about technology. He'll listen to something, he'll listen again. He's like, you know, that note, I think I'm flat on that thing. I'm like, dude, you're not flat. Oh, I think I'm flat, you know. I take a break for a week. So it takes a break, listens to it again. He's like, yeah, I didn't notice it. I'm like, yeah, okay, so you're not flat. And then he'll listen to it again in the studio. He'll be like, oh, dude, now that I listen to it in here, I think I'm flat. Just stuff like that. It's hilarious. Like, we'll laugh about it all day, but we'll also get into like deep arguments about it, because I'm like, this is perfect. Your imperfection on that note is perfect. No, but it's annoying me. And it's like, so we can spend weeks going back and forth on something like that. And we can also record something that he just sings perfectly with a vibe that he loves, and he'll be like, I don't want to change it. So then we'll get into discussions about that, because I'll say, dude, there's like noise. There was like an ambulance outside, something like, you can hear a noise in your vocal take because the microphone caught something from outside. Like a siren. Yeah, but it's perfect. I'm like, I know, but like, we can't have a siren in the song. Yeah, but if I re-sing it, it's not going to be the same. So we'll get into these we'll spend hours talking about this stuff. It's like, dude, we need to re-record it. Yeah. So some things take months and some things take, 2 seconds. So
what's your favorite process of all of those things that you do?
My favorite process is the quickest one. No. My favorite process is like, I always think about the end result. And for me, the end result is I want people to relate to the song. I want people to feel something when the song is done. The most important thing for me is that when a song is finished, people don't forget it. you know,
Mhm.
when they finished it, they either want to listen to it again, or they're humming something, or they're remembering the beats. That's what, to me, like, I want that something to be memorable,
Mhm.
and it can be all those things. It can be a lyric, it can be the huge chorus, it can be that repetitive lyric. So for me, a big chorus is always imperative, and the process that I love the most is when a song is done and it's like that chorus is undeniable. There's a vibe in the song. There's something cool about it, and
Mhm.
musically, it's thought provoking, but also the key is to make the vocal just big, make people
Mhm.
sing along to this song, and then when they listen to it the fifth, sixth, seventh time, they realize there's these layers, and they, oh, that's cool. That trumpet's cool. That drum beat's really cool. I didn't notice it. So I think that to me is key, is something that you don't forget when you're
Mhm.
finished with the song, and also something that has layers as well.
So how do you balance the different perspectives and inputs of everybody in the band, making sure that it, stays cohesive as the sound of your band and not just like the input of one individual?
Well, I think it helps that there's three of us, because some bands have 5 or 6 people, but a lot of it is me and Killian in the studio working, and Mike, who's a bass player. Mike's involvement a lot is anything that you see, like pictures, images, videos, anything graphic, visual that
Mhm.
represents the band is basically spearheaded by him, in terms of like, so the way I'm producer of the music, he's sort of the producer of the visual. Obviously, we all have our input creatively when it comes to visual aspects, photos and images and graphics, but we're very much rely on him to be the sort of the forefront of that. So when it comes to the music, a lot of it is me and Killian, and then Mike's very much a good taste maker, and sort of like, he'll come in and listen to something, we'll record bass, and then he'll say, this reminds me of so and so, and I'm like, oh no, oh okay, we got to change that. So but what happens when you work together and you spend so much time in your life together with the same people? I think either you become sick of those people, or you really grow and you gel better than ever. And I think that's
Mhm.
the case with us. So it's like, we know where we want to go musically. Obviously, we have differences sometimes, but that's healthy and that's normal. But
Mhm.
as a whole, we're like one entity, and we know where we're going. So when I'm putting together a song, I know that Mike's gonna agree with some things and disagree with some things. And I know that we're all going in the same place. So it kind of
Mhm.
helps that we're all on the same wavelength. With all the different little detailed discussions and disputes, the overall picture is that we're all always going in the same direction. And that's the same when it
Mhm.
comes to visuals, and it's the same when it comes to touring, and whatever decision we make in our band to move forward, all three of us will always sort of like, agree on what we're doing, and then we'll go and
Mhm.
do it. So
And then also, where did the name come from of the band?
no story. No story. Like, I think we were in a. It's not like, there is a story, but it's not that interesting. We were in a bar, and me and Mike are English, obviously. So I can't remember. I think it was Nashville or somewhere in the South, and we had a different band name before. We've had many band names over our
Mhm.
time playing music, but I think a bartender was like, thought we were putting on the accent, basically, and
Mhm.
and and she wouldn't believe that we weren't. She thought we were putting it on the whole time. She's like, "You're a bunch of charming liars," just something like that.
Mhm.
And
That's
then
a
we
good
didn't know at the
story.
time. We didn't know at the time, but then we like kept it in the pool of potential names, So yeah, there's no like deep meaning behind the name.
I like that
Okay.
story though. It's fun.
Is it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a story.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell does Foo Fighters mean, right?
Yeah.
What does Coldplay? So, stadium bands
Interesting. Yeah.
with weird names.
Yeah.
So
And how do you guys balance, if you guys are all friends in the band, how do you balance keeping a friendship and not running a friendship over a project that you guys didn't agree on? Like, how do you
well,
separate that work
but we've been
and
doing it a long
friendship?
time, So it's like me and Mike have been having these discussions since we were like 16 years old.
Okay.
Like, if I ask him a question or he asks me a question, like, we know how to answer the question. So I think that's like, even if we disagree about something, I don't think it's gonna, if it's a big enough thing, then we'll figure out a compromise.
Mhm.
And if it's a small thing, then I don't think a small thing is worth fighting for, or worth ruining this thing that we have together. So
Mm-hmm.
the only time that we get into proper arguments and fights is like if we're on a tour and it's like 2 months in, and we're all just really moody and tired and like want to go home. get back home to our families, then we can get into some proper arguments, you know, where you're not thinking straight, you're just saying things. You're just like, oh, I regret saying that and all that, you know. But when we're home, we all do different things. We'll have different jobs and things, and it's like, so we're not always in each other's space, and I think that's healthy too. It's like doing our own thing and then coming together and working on band related stuff. It helps, you know, it keeps us healthy.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten to a point where you thought like, oh, this is not gonna work? I mean, I know you said you've been doing it
If
for
I
a
did, I
long
wouldn't
time.
tell you. No. Me and Mike grew up with another guy who was in this band, and we were in a band together from like 2006 until 2000 for like 8-9 years. And we moved over with a different singer. Actually, there ended up being complications with that, and then we ended up not being with that singer anymore. So we've been through that sort of thing before, and it's not easy because you kind of think like, oh shit, are we like, should we just give up on this and just go and do different things, you know? But I think if you have desire and motivation and you're good at what you do and you have something to offer, I think you fight through it and you continue. And we were lucky enough to find Killian. You know, it's been a blessing for us. So we've been through that sort of thing where we thought it wasn't going to work, but in actual fact, we came out the other side and we came out 10 times better. So
when you guys are on tour, do you have any pre-show rituals or tour rituals that you do?
Not really. Like Killian does his vocal warm-ups for like an hour, so he annoys everyone backstage with his noises and sounds. But apart from that, 30 minutes before we're playing, it depends. I mean, sometimes we're setting up on stage and then doors are open and we have like 30 minutes to get ready, and it's like we can't get into the right, you know, mindset. But if we have a good hour and a half, 2 hours before we're playing, we'll get ready, we'll get changed, we'll, you know, start focusing, but at the same time we'll like start doing a couple of shots of whatever alcohol there is there, you know, just to take the edge off. I'm a big guy, so very unlikely that I will ever perform intoxicated. But maybe there's been a few times where by the 23rd show of a tour, 3 shots of whatever, not really doing it, you know, because we're building up tolerance. So, but that's just something fun. Like we're all very professional and none of us really drink a lot. We're not really partiers. But for us going on stage, it's like nice to take the edge off, and especially if you're having technical difficulties or the show's not going the way you want it to go, it's always important to not take yourself too seriously. Something like a couple of shots before we go on stage can really help with that. So that's probably like the only thing that we consistently do, whether it's like a little drink or a couple of shots. Like we'll do that and we'll start putting on a bit of music in the green room, a little speaker, and put on some Motown hits or whatever it is, and we'll get in the mood and then we'll go and play. And that's it, really.
That's not too crazy.
No, there's no drugs, none of that. No drug policy. You know, I set the policy.
Yeah.
And, if there's any drugs around, you're out. So yeah, we're very PG. Maybe like PG-13. No.
Yeah.
I guess you can't drink like that, but PG-18, PG-21. PG-21.
And do you have like any items that you bring with you? Maybe physical items? I don't know.
No, just, you know, suitcases, all the clothes you need. Like it's like a traveling road show, right? So like we travel 6-7 hours, check into some crappy hotel, drop our stuff, take our day bag, go to the venue from 3 p.m. to midnight. We're doing our thing, sweating and working and selling merch and performing whatever, and then we go back to the hotel. And it's like, so you can only take with you what you need in that for like that schedule, you know. At most we maybe take little things for like days off. I know bands take like little grills, and so they can like grill up on the day off or whatever, and we'll just kind of sit in the hotel, relax, go to see a movie, go get dinner or whatever, you know. So we actually enjoy each other's company. So when we have a day off, we'll like book a cool dinner spot and go and just relax and try and not think about any of the stresses, you know. But no, like just our suitcases and clothes and laptops, obviously, so we can do more Zoom interviews and and that's about it. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's time for our last question, which is, what is the soundtrack of your life?
Oh, like the all-encompassing album. Oh, that's a difficult one. The soundtrack. You know, I think the soundtrack is like something that I was probably listening to when I was starting to play guitar, because that's probably the most important music that I was listening to, because it kind of shaped what was like the years after. So, you know, there's a band that, I mean, they were originated from LA, but they're called System of a Down. You know, big Armenian rock band. And, you know, as an Armenian myself, growing up in England, Like I remember thinking like, oh, this is really cool. Like there's a band that's like very well known and they're from, the heritage is like the same as mine. And so that was like one of the first shows I went to in London was at one of their shows. And it just like, I remember thinking, this is crazy. Like the mosh pit and like so loud and like all these songs. And it's like, I ended up listening to their albums religiously for 5-6 years, from the age of like 13 to 17, 18. And it was like that all of my teenage years, they were like, I was listening to their albums. They were always coming on, whether I was in the car or, my headphones or at home. And I don't necessarily listen to a lot of it now, but I listened to all of it then. And it was like, it shaped, like it made me want to be in a band, even though my music doesn't sound anything like theirs. It doesn't, people always ask like, what are your influences? And it's like, my influences come more sort of like in terms of like path, like a path or a journey, less so, oh, this music has inspired me to write this music. No, it's more about like inspiring to sort of take a journey and like decide, oh, I want to do this, or I want to try and be this, and I want to be a successful musician. I think that's where the inspirations come from. So I think a band like System of a Down is probably pivotal in that.
Okay, interesting. Well, that was our last question. So thank you so much for coming
Thank
and
you
talking
guys.
to us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So before we go, even though we criticize a lot social media, would you like to share your social media?
No. Yeah.
Or
Yes.
website or anything you have coming up?
No, thank God we have all of the social media platforms locked down. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, but barely. Not much happening on there for us. And we have a website, charmingliars.com. And I think YouTube is actually a pretty good one. I think YouTube, just if I can say, obviously it's hard to make a lot of money from it, but I think that being able to access any video at any time is very important. And they have a great platform for that. And so if anyone's listening or watching this for the first time and they want to see our videos, go to our YouTube page. Just type Charming Liars in YouTube, and we've got a lot of live videos, a lot of official videos, animated videos, and so YouTube. And we have a new song called Black Cage, so check it out.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. See you later. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Listeners, go check it out and make sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at STO Lives Podcast. Thanks for joining us.